Ladies and gentlemen, I don't care if you're a Becky Lynch fan or not, what just happened on live television was absolutely heartbreaking, infuriating, and downright shocking. The man, the Irish lass kicker, the woman who carried the entire WWE Women's Division on her shoulders for years, has just been forced to relinquish her championship in one of the most emotional moments in WWE history. And the reason? A horrifying injury that the company tried to keep quiet until now. You need to hear every detail of what went down because what WWE did or didn't do might just change the way fans see this company forever. This is WrestleScope, and today we break down the painful downfall, the betrayal, and the shocking truth behind Becky Lynch losing everything. Strap in. This one is going to make you mad. Let's start right at the moment the world stopped. The moment we saw Becky Lynch collapse during her match and nobody in the arena realized how serious it was. It was supposed to be a routine title defense. Nothing special, nothing dangerous. Becky looked fired up, laser-focused, moving like the champion she is. Until suddenly, her knee buckled and her entire body crumbled to the mat. At first, fans thought it was a sell, just another dramatic moment from one of the best storytellers in the business. But then, Becky didn't get up. The referee signaled the X. The crowd's energy shifted instantly. This wasn't a storyline. This was real. Backstage sources started buzzing almost immediately, the kind of whispers that make the locker room go silent. Something was very, very wrong. While the cameras avoided showing Becky, backstage was pure panic. Producers rushing, medical staff scrambling, wrestlers abandoning their segments to check on her. And this is where things start getting dark, because even though Becky was clearly hurt, even though she couldn't put weight on her leg, WWE still tried to talk her into finishing the segment. Why? Because the company didn't want to derail the show, because TV timing mattered more than her health, because business came before Becky. One source described it like this: she was in real pain, and they were still trying to get her to stand up long enough to finish the angle. It was uncomfortable to watch. Let that sink in for a moment. A top champion, one of the biggest stars of the entire company, barely able to stand, and they still wanted her back out there? After being helped backstage, Becky was rushed into medical evaluation. And the diagnosis? Worse than anyone wanted to believe. A severe ligament tear, intense swelling, and possible damage to the cartilage. The exact kind of injury that ends careers, not just matches. When she heard the news, Becky reportedly broke down, not because of the pain, but because deep down she already knew what was coming next. Her title was gone. Not because she lost, not because she was outperformed, not because of anything she did wrong, but because her body gave out everything to this company. WWE announced it only hours before the live broadcast. Becky Lynch will address her championship status. Fans already sensed something was wrong, but nobody expected the emotional monster of a moment that followed. Becky walked to the ring slowly, limping, her knee heavily taped. But what really stood out? The silence. No pyro, no dramatic entrance, just Becky trying desperately to keep herself together. You could see the heartbreak in her eyes. You could see how much she didn't want to say the words. When she said she was forced to relinquish the title, the entire arena gasped. You could literally hear fans shouting no in the background. And then, that moment. The moment that WWE has already started replaying everywhere. Becky Lynch placing the championship down in the center of the ring and walking away with it. The man never looked smaller, never looked more vulnerable, never looked more broken. And yet, she still held her head high, a true warrior. The locker room was devastated. Some were crying, others were furious. A few were openly blaming WWE for pushing Becky too hard for too long. Many believed her injury was inevitable, the result of overbooking, constant travel, and pressure to perform at 110% every night. One insider put it bluntly, "She shouldn't have been wrestling that much. Everyone knew she was hurting, but she didn't want to disappoint the fans. Becky always pushes herself past her limit." And that level of dedication, it's both heroic and heartbreaking. Here's where the story takes a wild turn, because the second Becky's relinquishment aired, the internet exploded. Hashtag Becky deserved better, hashtag justice for Becky, hashtag WWE protect your talent. Fans were furious. Thousands flooded social media accusing WWE of negligence. Some even demanded an investigation into how the injury happened and why Becky wasn't pulled sooner. And the worst part? Many of these fans believe WWE already has plans to replace Becky permanently. Whether that's true or not remains to be seen, but the fact that the rumor exists at all shows just how shaken fans are by this. Here's where things get emotional. Becky Lynch isn't just another wrestler. She's a pioneer, a trailblazer, a history maker. She fought her way to the top when nobody expected her to. She carried the women's revolution on her back. She headlined WrestleMania. She became the face of WWE. And now, she's sidelined with no return date guaranteed. Some doctors think she'll be out for months. Some say it could be a year. Some fear this may be the kind of injury that changes everything. But Becky is Becky. And if there's one thing we know about the man, it's this. She will fight her way back, even if she has to crawl. But the journey ahead? It's long, painful, uncertain. And WWE's decisions over the next few weeks will determine whether her return is legendary or sabotaged. Now here's the twist that fans aren't talking about enough. What if this wasn't just an injury? What if this was a breaking point? Becky has been hinting for months about burnout, frustration, and backstage disagreements. She's been vocal about not wanting to be just a champion. She wants stories, depth, purpose. And WWE? They've been giving her repetitive feuds, inconsistent booking, and rushed angles. This injury, tragic as it is, might actually force Becky to reset her career in a way that brings back the fire, the unpredictability, the pure madness that made her the man in the first place. Imagine this. Becky Lynch returns not as a hero, not as a victim, but as a vengeful force who lost everything and wants the entire roster to pay for it. A darker Becky, a more dangerous Becky, a Becky who doesn't care about smiling for cameras, only about reclaiming what was stolen from her. That comeback would break the internet. Becky Lynch losing her title wasn't just another WWE moment. This was a turning point, a gut punch to fans, a reminder that even legends can fall. But if there's one thing we know about Becky Lynch, it's that she always gets back up. And when she does, the entire women's division better be ready. Now I need you, the WrestleScope army, to sound off. Do you think WWE handled this the right way? Was Becky pushed too far? And how do you want to see her return? As a hero or as a ruthless, unforgiving man on a mission? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear from every single one of you. And if you love WrestleScope deep dives, breaking news, and the real stories WWE won't tell you, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update from WrestleScope. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay sharp, stay passionate, and stay locked in right here on WrestleScope.